to our second episode of Hottie Mentality. And today we're going to get into mistakes and lessons learned in our early 20s. Not saying that we're perfect, we're continuing to grow and learn, but these are just some of the mistakes that we've learned now being in our later 20s.
That's right, hotties. We are going to be talking about all the mistakes we made in our 20s, and we're going to start off with friendships. I know for myself, one of the major mistakes I made when it came to friendships was holding on to friends that really just had no space in my life. Like, it literally just made no fucking sense. Like, I used to have this weird ass belief that even if the friendship was shitty, it was worth holding on to because we're just not perfect at the end of the day. But that makes no fucking sense. None whatsoever.
No, I totally agree with what you said. I think in my early 20s, I was friends with so many people that would never put the same effort I was putting into the friendship. And with friendships that are reciprocative, like now that I have so many more of those relationships in my life, you feel better and you feel lighter, which is how you should feel in your friendships. But if only we could go knock on our 20-year-old selves at the time and just be like, wake up, girl.
Oh my God, girl. That is such a good point. Like, there are so many things I feel like I just want to knock on my 20-year-old self and be like, girl, what the fuck were you doing? And another one of those is like, when it comes to relationships, like, I feel like I was always trying to be like the cool, chill girl. And it's like me at 27 looking at my 20-year-old self, I'm like, girl, for what? For these shitty ass men?
They're horrible. They're literally horrible.
Literally. And I'm just like, acting like you're the cool girl that doesn't have needs gets you nowhere. Okay, hotties, let's just, that's a law, okay? No, argue with your mama, not with me.
No, that is so true. It's so funny because I think in my early 20s, just thinking back, I was never really prioritizing myself, like whether it was with men, whether it was with friendships. I don't think there was a relationship where I was ever putting my time first. And looking back, it's like if you're not putting your time first, then you're just taking away from yourself. Like, what are you doing for yourself? You're just tired, you're waiting on other people, and you're not doing anything that you enjoy doing. I think there are so many times I agreed to trying out certain things, which I'm grateful that I had new experiences, but at the same time, sometimes I wanted to do something different. And it would just be like if a friend wanted to hang out and I'm just always making my time around that and making my time around other people's schedules. So yeah, I totally agree with what you're saying. I think in my later 20s, it's a blessing to finally be able to focus on myself and what I want to do, like my hobbies, my interests. It feels more freeing. But yeah, I feel like all of you ladies in your early 20s right now, it's okay to say no to plans. And I wish I did that more often. I wish I just focused on myself more. It's just so interesting because the older I'm getting, I'm really understanding the importance of prioritizing myself. In my younger 20s, I would always be waiting on people to respond, for instance. And the amount of time wasted in just waiting on someone, whether it's like your friend, your man, just waiting for them to get back to you. You're overthinking in your head. Why are you spiraling? Exactly. You can shift to doing whatever you want to do because your time, like, you're always in control of it. And that never clicked for me back then, which gets so frustrating, but I'm glad I realize it now because going forward, I have so much more time to just focus on myself.
I agree 1000%. Because I feel like something I struggled a lot with in my 20s, I say that like I'm not still in my 20s, and like I feel like I'm still learning this, but it's like advocating for myself at work. And I just feel like something I really struggled with, and I really don't know what kind of like capitalistic crack I was smoking, but it was like this feeling of like I'm a greedy person because I want to get paid a livable wage. And I'm just like, where the fuck did I get that from? Like, I don't understand that. So it's like, I would literally just like let certain shit slide at work where I felt like I was not being paid fairly for like what I was doing. And honestly, just like struggling financially a little bit. And I'm just like, one, I don't have to be at this job. Two, if I am at a job, I can figure out how to advocate for myself. And obviously, like, there's so many other factors that go into it. But one of my main takeaways for all you hotties and just women in general is like, advocate for yourself, advocate for your finances, get paid, because we need to get that money, okay? That cash money.
I agree with you. I feel like advocating in the workplace is so tricky. And what I love about getting older is each thing we're working on, we just get better and better at it every single year. So I just know in our 30s, we're gonna be pros. You know what's crazy? It's like talking about the mistakes that we made in our 20s. I just have like a whole suitcase of them. So it's like I open up my suitcase and pick what's next. But it's so funny. The first thing that comes to mind is like picking my battles, because I sucked at that. I feel like I was always just charged and ready to go, like, okay, who's next? But that's not the way you want to approach people in situations, because if you're always on the defense, first of all, you're not learning, you're not shifting your perspective, you're always trying to convince people that you're right. But what if you're not? It's like, I think in my early 20s, that thought didn't occur to me all the time. Like, big shocker, you might not be right about everything. It's an opportunity to learn. So yeah, definitely picking my battles is a big one. I would also always go to bat for my friends on every single issue. Like, it wouldn't even cross my mind, maybe this person can just defend themselves. Like, of course there are situations where someone is getting bullied and injustice is happening, and that's when absolutely you should speak up. But it's important to be able to know when you need to pick your battles, because otherwise you're just going to war for everything.
Oh my God. What you said about like picking your battles is like so freaking true. Because I feel like in my early 20s, I struggled with that like a lot. Because I feel like it was almost like this thing of like, I feel like for all of like being like a teenager and growing up, like I was very much like a people pleaser. And then I felt like I went from like one extreme of being like super passive to like, now I need to be like the other, on the other end of the spectrum. And like, I thought I was standing up for myself, but then when I look back on it, I was like, girl, no, you were just like making yourself mad and upset and engaging in conversations and things that just did not serve me. Because I'm like, some people are just on some bullshit. Like, let's just be so fucking for real. Like, some people are on bullshit, they know your triggers and they're purposely trying to like push your buttons. And I feel like I would get baited into these arguments and situations like all the time, because I felt like, oh, I'm not gonna let these people walk all over me, I'm not a pushover like I used to be. And so I feel like I leaned into this like a little bit of like, yeah, just not knowing when to pick my battles strategically and really protect my energy. Like, kind of like you said, like protecting your energy and being mindful of like who you surround yourself with is so, so, so important.
Absolutely. Yeah. I totally agree with what you said. Like, I feel like I was not protecting my energy at all. I was just letting it go to everything and anything. And I wish a lot of the times in my early 20s too, in certain situations, I wish I took a step back to listen more versus feeling the need to talk all the time and be involved in conversations. Like, this is definitely one of the biggest mistakes I made in my early 20s, okay? If you're in your early 20s, I hope you don't make this mistake. But it would be like conversations about topics that I did not know too much about. I would always feel the need to kind of insert myself and make it seem like I knew what I was saying when I really didn't. And looking back, it makes you sound a little ignorant, like when you don't know what you're talking about and you're kind of trying to be involved in the conversation. In those moments, I wish I did what I do now, which is you kind of take a step back, you ask questions, and you focus on learning. Because the conversation, you don't always need to be heard. Sometimes you need to listen to what someone else is saying. And I feel, yeah, it's a lot better when you start doing that, which I'm so glad I do now. Oh my God.
Oh my God, like I totally agree with you about the whole like, not like kind of like being mindful like what I do and don't know. Because I feel like I used to do that a lot, and I feel like honestly, like a lot of that came from like a place of like insecurity for me, because I was like, oh, I don't want people, like, I guess I was walking into conversations feeling like, oh, these people think that I'm stupid, or they think I'm this, or they think I'm that, and I'm gonna prove them wrong. Like, it's almost like I was coming into it with this energy of like, I need to prove a point.
Yeah.
And I feel like that was so apparent, because I feel like there's like some saying that, like, I don't know what it is, but anyways, it's the whole concept of like, confidence is not loud. Sometimes it's silent. Like, you don't have to be like the loudest person, and I don't have to be like trying to prove to someone like, no, I do know what the fuck you're talking about, because sometimes I just don't know. And I feel like I don't care if people think I'm stupid for saying I don't know, or hey, I need to read up more on that topic, because I feel like that's such a sign of like maturity to be able to be like, hey, yeah, I don't know as much as I would like to know on this topic, so please teach me. Like, tell me, what do you know? So yeah.
No, I totally agree with what you said. Oh my gosh, and I totally relate to that. It's so crazy because every now and then I get this feeling, and I call it the cringe feeling, because it kind of like overwhelms your whole body and soul. And for me, typically that feeling is when I'm taken back to something I said or did in my early 20s. And it's so uncomfortable, like it's horrible. I'm sure it's a universal experience, so every one of you probably know what I'm talking about. However, while it's uncomfortable, I think it's so comfortable knowing that I'm getting that feeling because I'm not that person anymore. And those behaviors and actions don't align with who I am today. And that's why that feeling is so uncomfortable. So if you guys are getting that feeling, that's probably a good sign, because that means we're growing and we're elevating as people, and that's what Hottie mentality is all about. Say it's so nice to reflect on our early 20s, especially because the next couple of years we're closing out this chapter of our 20s and we're heading into our 30s. So right now it's all about coming up with a game plan for our 30s now, which is crazy. But honestly, hotties, if you have any topics you want us to cover, just let us know in the comments, and yeah, just stay updated with us. Our plan is to get into the game plan for our 30s and just how we plan to keep leveling up and maintaining hottie mentality.
Period. Tap in, hotties.
Tap in.
Don't sleep, don't eat, just do it on repeat, keep. When I'm in the club, yeah, I'm